radial artery, isn't it?
Then divide.
Yes. Then it will divide. Yes. In the upper limb.
Victor hiatus. Here. No.
Yeah, lower part of the adductor canal. And it supplies all the structures in the thigh. Okay. Femoral artery. So it supplies all the structures in the thigh. Next is about in the femoral triangle, it gives rise to the superficial circumflex artery. Okay. Superficial circumflex artery and superficial epigastric artery. Okay. And the external pudendal artery. Okay. And deep artery of the thigh. Okay. And muscular branches. Okay. So these are the branches, and it gives rise to the muscular branches also. Okay.
Profunda femoris.
Deep artery of the thigh. So this is a main artery of the thigh. It gives rise to the following branches. That is the medial circumflex femoral artery. Okay, and the lateral circumflex femoral artery. So medial and the lateral circumflex femoral artery. So in case of upper limb,
Right and left humerus.
circumflex femoral.
Yes.
Isn't it? Anterior and posterior.
Yes.
In case of upper limb,
Middle.
isn't it? So here and the medial and the lateral circumflex femoral arteries. So in the neck of the femur, isn't it? And perforating arteries. Okay, so these are the branches from the deep artery of the thigh. Next is the popliteal artery. So it is a continuation of the femoral artery again. It reaches the adductor hiatus. Okay, it continues as a popliteal artery. So it runs through the popliteal fossa, isn't it? And it ends at the lower border of the popliteus muscle. It ends here. So what you are seeing, this part, this is the popliteal artery, isn't it? And it gives rise to 5 branches. That is the medial superior genicular artery and the lateral superior genicular, medial and the lateral superior genicular artery. Isn't it?
Yes.
And the medial inferior genicular artery, isn't it? And the lateral inferior genicular artery. Knee. Yes, knee.
From gym.
Popliteal fossa this is, isn't it? So the popliteal artery. Here it gives rise to the branches, which forms the anastomosis around the knee joint, isn't it? And the middle genicular artery. So these are the branches from the popliteal artery. Okay. Medial superior genicular artery and the lateral genicular artery. Okay. And the inferior genicular, isn't it? Medial and the lateral, 4 branches, and the middle genicular artery. Okay. So these are the 5 branches from the popliteal artery. So is it clear now?
Yes.
So at the lower end of the popliteus muscle. So these are the branches from the popliteal artery, isn't it? So it divides into the anterior tibial artery and the posterior tibial artery. Okay, which gives rise to the peroneal artery here. So this is the peroneal artery. Okay, so it gives rise to the anterior tibial artery and the posterior tibial artery, isn't it? So from the anterior tibial artery and the posterior tibial artery and the common peroneal, isn't it? And so this is the peroneal artery here, isn't it? the anterior tibial and the posterior tibial and the peroneal artery here.
So which one of them supply the cuff muscles?
Yes,
Which one of them supply the cuff muscles?
posterior one, isn't it?
The meaning of peroneal, Doctor. Peroneal.
So it supplies mainly the lateral compartment of the leg, isn't it? Peroneus longus and the peroneus brevis, isn't it? Where these are located, the lateral side of
We have
the
three.
leg, isn't it? And next is anastomosis around the knee joint, isn't it? So the descending branch from the lateral femoral circumflex artery, okay, and the descending genicular of the femoral, isn't it? Anterior tibial recurrent, isn't it? And the superior medial genicular artery and the middle one, isn't it? So all these are the 5 branches, isn't it? Middle one, and the inferior medial genicular artery, which forms the anastomosis around the knee joint. So these are the branch of the popliteal, isn't it? Next is the anterior tibial. It is one of the 2 terminal branch of the popliteal artery, isn't it? And it supplies the structure in the anterior compartment of the leg and the perforating branches to the lateral compartment, that is the peroneal compartment. And it ends at the midpoint between the malleoli. So medial malleoli and the lateral malleoli. So midpoint, so it continues as a dorsalis pedis artery, isn't it? And it gives anterior, medial and the lateral malleolar branches, isn't it? From the dorsalis pedis artery. And the posterior tibial artery, it is one of the 2 terminal branches of the popliteal artery, isn't it? And it supplies the all structures in the posterior and the lateral compartment of the leg. Similarly, in case of upper limb, the radial and the ulnar, isn't it? It runs behind the inferior to the lateral malleolus. Then it divides into medial and the lateral plantar branches. Medial and the lateral plantar branches, 2 branches. So it gives rise to peroneal artery, which gives rise to lateral malleolar and the calcaneal branches. Next is about the dorsalis pedis artery. It is the continuation of the anterior tibial artery, isn't it? And it gives rise to lateral tarsal and the medial tarsal, 2 branches, isn't it? Dorsalis pedis artery, lateral and medial branches. And the arcuate artery, okay, and the deep plantar, okay. So these are the branches from the dorsalis pedis artery. So the plantar artery, the posterior tibial artery, it divides into the lateral plantar and the medial plantar artery, which gives rise to the first plantar metatarsal artery, okay, which forms the deep plantar arch. It is formed by the deep plantar arch, dorsalis pedis artery and the lateral plantar artery, okay. Next is the veins of the lower limb. Again, it is divided into the superficial and the deep veins. Only difference in the venous drainage in between the upper limb and the lower limb. What is that difference?
This that connects between the deep and the superficial.
Yes, perforators are there. Apart from this, in general, so in the lower limb veins, So blood has to pump against the gravity as compared to upper limb. Isn't it? Against the gravity, blood has to pump. So it requires some alteration. Compared to other veins, the lower limb veins are more muscular. Isn't it? More muscular, and the deep fascia of the leg, it is very tight. Isn't it? Why it is tight? So along with the artery, the deep veins are present, isn't it? So the artery is having the pulsation, isn't it?
Yes.
During the movement of the blood, isn't it? So for that moment, for that pulsation, presence of that pulsation, it will move the blood upwards, isn't it? So it requires a tight fascia, isn't it? To press against the muscles, isn't it? So that is why it is having the tight fascia, deeper fascia. Okay.
Is this the muscle?
Yes, and also apart from this, the lower limb veins are having the valves, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So which provides the unidirectional flow, isn't it?
Flow.
Backward, it prevents the backward flow, isn't it? So these are the alterations in the venous system of the lower limb, isn't it? Because it has to pump against the gravity. Blood has to pump against the gravity. So the deep veins and the superficial vein and the superficial vein are not accompanied by the arteries in the subcutaneous tissue. So these are present in the subcutaneous tissue, whereas deep veins accompanies the arteries, isn't it? So the medial and the lateral marginal veins emerges from side of the arch here. So, okay, it's the foot medial, so it forms the dorsal venous arch, isn't it? So the medial marginal vein continues as a great Stephanus vein, isn't it? So this is the medial marginal vein continues as a great Stephanus vein, isn't it? It ascends in front of the medial malleolus to the leg and the thigh, isn't it? Where it terminates femoral vein. So it pierces the cribriform fascia here, isn't it? It pierces and finally it drains into the femoral vein. Okay, so this is the femoral vein. Femoral artery, femoral vein, isn't it? Here in the femoral triangle, it pierces the cribriform fascia, okay, and the blood drains into the femoral vein, great Stephanus vein. Yes. So this is a femoral vein. This femoral artery, femoral vein, and this is the femoral triangle, great Stephanus vein. Next is the lateral marginal vein continues as a small Stephanus vein. Okay, and it ascends upwards. Okay, so in the leg, and finally it drains into the popliteal vein, which is a deep vein, isn't it? See here. So this is the popliteal vein. Okay, so it ascends upwards. Okay, and it drains into the popliteal vein. Again, the popliteal vein. This is a deep vein, isn't it? The perforating vein connects the lesser Stephanus vein with the deep vein. Okay, so the lesser Stephanus vein to the deep vein. Perforators. So these are nothing but the alternate channel which connects the deep vein into the superficial vein. Perforators.
Yes, yes.
So this is.
So where is the lesser Stephanus?
Huh?
Lesser Stephanus vein.
This one.
Superficial one is one.
Yes, yes, superficial one. Okay, so superficial vein disease, isn't it? So,
Supply the deep popliteal. Drain to the deep popliteal.
yes, yes, popliteal vein, not the deep. So, deep vein, that is the popliteal vein,
Yes, yes, yes.
isn't it? So, here it drains into the popliteal vein.
Finally to the femoral.
Yes, finally the popliteal vein continuation, isn't it? Popliteal vein, femoral vein, isn't it? So, these channels, that is the deeper veins, isn't it? Similarly, in case of upper limb, vena comitans,
Yes.
the radial artery and the ulnar artery, isn't it? Axillary, then subclavian. Similarly, into the femoral vein.
What about the terminal of this vein? Is it same? This is venous?
Dorsal venous arch, lateral side, isn't it? It ascends.
Lateral marginal.
So the medial marginal, that is the great syphilis,
Yes.
isn't it? Whereas lateral one, the small syphilis. Small syphilis drains into the popliteal vein. The great syphilis drains into the femoral vein. Okay. Next is, this is a condition of the varicose veins, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
What's the one?
Called the
yeah, it is a pooling of the blood, isn't it? So, in the lower limb. So, it is failed to pump the blood, isn't it? So, again, it is,
The venous vein.
yes, dilated veins, isn't it? Pooling of the blood in the venous channels. That is maybe due to the occupational hazard, isn't it? Occupational hazard means like the traffic police and surgeons, always they will stand, isn't it? Always they
No
will
one will be
stand.
certain.
There is a pooling of the blood in the veins, isn't it? Which causes the varicose veins. So, this is the femoral pulsation, isn't it? And the popliteal and the dorsal spadius artery. Okay. So, this is about the art. Yeah? Femoral pulsation.
Against which one?
Yeah?
Against the superior iliac fossa. The pulsation.
No.
I
In
press.
the femoral triangle, isn't it? Femoral artery is there, isn't it? You have to palpate, isn't it?
Against femoral triangle.
Yes. In the femoral triangle. Yes. So be thorough with the, or be perfect with the branches of all arteries, isn't it? In the upper limb artery, the brachial artery, ulnar artery branches, and the radial artery branches, isn't it? And about the venous drainage, isn't it? Two sets of vein, vena comitans, isn't it? The deep and superficial. So in case of lower limb, again the femoral artery, isn't it? Where it starts and what are the branches from the internal iliac that supplies the gluteal region, isn't it? Similarly, the branches in the femoral triangle, isn't it? And branches of the popliteal artery, isn't it? And the dorsal spadius artery, isn't it? And about the venous drainage of the lower limb, again the superficial and the deep one, isn't it?
The branches,
Of dorsal bits
are they important? The branches.
they are in the foot.
Only the medial and lateral branches are
They are
there.
difficult.
Yes.
The branches